Hello there, this is Paul Michael Bales, and tonight I want to talk to you about this book called Thoughts Through Space. You see, someone in the comments section asked me, he said, why do nobody talk about the North Pole? Everybody's talking about the South Pole, about Antarctica. What about the North Pole? We need more about that. And I agree with him. And I was recently reading a few things about the North Pole, about narwhal whales, who are like these the unicorns of the sea. They have this big, like sort of tusk, this big horn coming from their mouth, their tooth. It looks a bit like they look a bit like a unicorn. Very beautiful looking creatures, fascinating. They were thought of as mythological at one point until they realized they were real. Also, I was looking at how everyone's trying to claim the North Pole. You've got Putin and Russia trying to make a claim for it. You've got Denmark trying to make a claim for it. Canada, USA. They're all trying to make a claim for it. They all want it for the minerals underneath it. But probably for other reasons as well. Being at the center of the earth. Who wouldn't want it? Who wouldn't want to be at the center? This book is very interesting. This is about the North Pole, around that area, the Arctic regions. It's a very, very fascinating book, very fascinating. I'll tell you why. It's written by Sir Hubert Wilkins and Harold Sherman. Let me just tell you what it says here. Thoughts Through Space had its origin in a daring plan conceived by two courageous men. It began in autumn 1937 when a group of Russian flyers on a transpolar flight crashed on the shelf ice on the Alaskan side of the pole. To find and rescue them, if they were still alive, the Russian government commissioned Arctic explorer Sir Hubert Wilkins to organize and lead an aerial search in those desolate regions. While in New York, prior to his departure, Sir Hubert met Harold Sherman, a student of mental powers who had long been intrigued by telepathy, the phenomenon of mind-to-mind communication. Seeing an unusual opportunity to put telepathy to a scientific test, Sherman and Wilkins decided to collaborate on a 6-month experiment. It was agreed between them that Wilkins, once his expedition was underway, would try to transmit thought messages at prearranged times directly to Sherman in New York. Both men would keep written records of each session, Wilkins noting down his thoughts as the sender and Sherman recording mental impressions in his role as receiver. This account recreates all the absorbing drama and adventure of the experiment as the participants lived it. With Wilkins, you will fly in a small plane over the roof of the world, scanning the moonlit snowscape for the lost flyers, your mind frighted with worries about weather conditions, radio contacts, fuel supply, and countless other perils, while straining every nerve to send your thoughts winging across space into the waiting mind of Harold Sherman. With Sherman, you will sit in a darkened room in New York, your mind a phantasmagoria of fleeting sights and sounds, flooding in like a torrent, your pencil scribbling furiously to capture them on paper. And you will read of the remarkable successful results when the two men finally compared notes, proving that thought messages were sent and received across 3,400 miles. Harold Sherman's years of study have convinced him that telepathy but a sixth sense is a common property of man, and that we can all learn to use it. Here he sets down the actual process by which thoughts pass from one mind to another, leading you on the path to the mastery of telepathy. The authors. Harold Sherman has made a lifetime study of psychic phenomena and published many works on the subject, including the highly successful How to Make ESP Work for You. The late Sir Hubert Wilkins commanded 6 Arctic and Antarctic expeditions and was a member of more than 10. His 1928 flight from Alaska to Europe across the polar ice cap was hailed by the 4 explorers who had previously reached the pole by air: Byrd, Amundsen, Ellsworth, and Nobile, as the greatest of all Arctic flights. I hope you enjoyed my introduction to this book. Very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Thoughts through space. Telepathy. North Pole. There. Get the book. Read the book. Buy books on the North Pole and the South Pole. Let's research, let's relearn, let's restudy these things. They're important. They're here on Earth. They're a part of Earth. Everything is connected. We need to learn about everything. Scientists want you to focus out there, out in space, in their imaginary space, with their new planets they're inventing every day. We've got so much beauty right here to look at. Beautiful nature, the beautiful deserts, the beautiful Arctics, and the beautiful animals, and the beautiful magic of life. Take care. Have a lovely night. God bless you.